Gatekeeper is a game of hype, excitement, and dramatic finishes. Pick a unique hero and fight to become the Gatekeeper. When someone becomes Gatekeeper, all the players on the board, other than the Gatekeeper, team up and try to kill the Gatekeeper. They will do everything they can, even if it comes down to the last roll. The objective of Gatekeeper is to capture the center. You can do this by capturing all 4 outer gates, capturing the center gate, rolling a 6 on a dragon roll, reaching 30 health, or being the last living player. Once you capture the center, then all you have to do to win is to survive an allotted amount of keeper phase rounds. Do this, and the game is yours. Place the game board in the center of the table where all the players can easily access it. Each player chooses a character card, selects a realm numbered 1 through 8 on the outside of the board. Make sure your pawn is the same color as the realm that you choose. Place all special pieces and 6-sided dice next to the board. First, set up your gates. Gates are made up of 12-sided die that will be set at 6. Place the center gate, which uses a D20, and place it at 10. The gates will always be reset to these values anytime they're destroyed during the game. Next, set up the towers. The towers are 4-sided dice that are set to the value of 4 and will also be reset to these numbers every single time they're destroyed during the game. Lastly, take your gems and place them on the top row of your realm and place 10 of them. This will be your starting HP at the beginning of the game. Lastly, take an 8-sided die and roll it. The number that corresponds with the realm is the player that will go first. So in this case, black goes first. On your turn, you will always take 3 steps. A trait roll, an Eldoman tower roll, and a gate attack. Trait rolls are abilities that every character has. All you have to do is roll the die, look at the number, see what it corresponds with on your card, and that will be the ability you get this turn. Here, the dynamo gets walls, jump lane shields. Next is Eldoman Tower. Eldoman Towers are optional rolls in which the player gets the corresponding bonus with the tower that they destroy. So here the dynamo is rolling against the blue tower. They rolled a 6. So in this case, they destroy the tower and they get to turn the board. If they fail their roll, then rather than destroying it, the die for the tower will go down the corresponding amount, and instead of getting the bonus, they will lose their turn. So only go for Eldoman Towers if you're willing to go for this risky business. When attacking a gate, your player pawn must be adjacent to the gate that you want to attack. Here, the dynamo has their pawn at the black and green lanes, so he can now attack green or black. So in this instance, the dynamo chooses to attack green. So now he will roll. He rolled a 1. So he does 1 damage to the green gate. On this turn, the dynamo is blocked by a green lane shield. Lane shields always block up to 4 damage. So if he wants to do any damage to the green gate, he has to roll more than a 4. In this instance, he only rolled a 2, which means the lane shield remains standing and there is no damage done to it. The next player to attack the lane shield still has to do at least 4 damage to get rid of it. On a turn in which the player destroys the lane shield is removed, and the remaining damage is done to the gate. When destroying a lane shield, the player that had their lane shield destroyed now gets the corresponding bonus that's on the lane shield. The green lane shield bonus is gain 2 HP. So, since the red player owns that gate, they get 2 more health. As for the player who destroyed the lane shield, they get to choose 1 dragon for destroying the lane shield. On your turn, you can move down and across lanes. So here the Dynamo kind of wants to attack either black or blue. To do that, they have to move their character down the lane. Now that the Dynamo has the green gate, as you can see by the corresponding gate marker, they're able to move through their gate all the way down here to attack blue. On your turn, you can move as much as you want, as long as you have a path. In this instance, Dynamo wants to attack blue, but the red player is blocking them. So they would go up to that player, and they would have to battle them for that position. More on battles later. In the instance that you capture a gate that a player is on, the 2 players must battle for ownership. Once again, more on battles later. Dragons are special characters that you get when destroying lane shield. You may turn these in at any point during your turn. When you do so, you get the corresponding bonus that is on the dragon. In this case, the red dragon has a deal 3 damage to target opponent. He turns it in and now can deal 3 damage to another player. Next is gate attack bonuses. The Dynamo has 2 bonuses, blue and red. Most characters will be like this. The red bonus, which is on top, will have a +2. Every time a bonus is on top, it has +2. Then, the one on the bottom has +1. So, the Dynamo is choosing to attack the red gate. He has a +2 bonus on red. He rolled a 5. Normally that wouldn't destroy it, but since he has a +2 bonus, it does 2 more damage and this gate is destroyed. That means he now has ownership of that gate. After losing ownership of a gate, because you lost the battle, you then have to go to your realm. So in this instance, the Dynamo has just beaten me in a battle. Now I have to go over to my realm. In the instance that I have no path to my realm, instead, I go back to my realm, but I lose a turn. Another option is to go back to your gates. So I just lost red, but I still have green. So I'll move my character to the green gate. Dynamo has captured red. So because he captured red, he now gets the red gate card. The first thing he'll do is do his initial bonuses, the first of which is deal 3 damage to target player. Next, he'll do all gates lose 1 HP. Then, he could use his turn bonus if he has the opportunity to. Lastly, he'll use lane shields. So, every gate, as we mentioned, has lane shields that you can place. So each turn, including the turn that you capture it, you'll place a lane shield on the corresponding colored spaces. The last move on a gate bonus card is the Keeper attack. Keeper attacks are special attacks that are used against the center only in Keeper phase. In the event of a battle, both players will roll a die. In this instance, I rolled a 4 and my opponent rolled a 1. This means that my opponent lost the battle. So, not only do they lose the battle, but they also lose health that corresponds with the difference in the dice rolls. So 4 minus 1 is 3. The opponent lost 3 health. So what happens when you roll the same number? In this instance, the stakes for the battle is double. What does that mean? Double damage. Roll again. Now, instead of doing 5 damage, I've done 10. Isn't that crazy? Every time that you roll the same number, the odds are increased. It goes from double damage to triple damage to quad damage, and so on and so on and so on. The last part of defending gates is having paths to defend it. Here, Ethan is getting ready to attack the red gate. So, I can then move my character to defend it. But if the board was turned and I was at my realm and I had no path to get to red, then he would capture the gate without having to battle since I have no path to defend it. The laws of movement are still valid in battles and defending. So in this instance, Dynamo is here to capture red. I can then move my character through my controlled green gate all the way to the gate of red to defend it. The next phase of the game is Keeper phase. As you can see, the center gate is at 2. Dynamo just rolled a 4. So Dynamo then moves his pawn into the center and Keeper phase begins. During this phase, the center gate is attached to this Gatekeeper's health. So if the center is at 20, the person who owns the center is at 20. At the beginning of Keeper phase, all gates go to max HP. And at the end of a Keeper phase, the gates will go back to 6. Anytime the gates are destroyed, they will always go back to 6. And the center will go to 10. In the event that a player reaches a status that would get them center gate, such as me hitting 30 health, instead of capturing the center during Keeper phase, I capture another out of gate. So here, I would choose to capture red. There is no battle, I just get to keep the gate. During Keeper phase, the Keeper has to survive 3 rounds of attacks. So this means that I would get to have 3 turns in which I am trying to destroy the center gate, which would subsequently kill the Gatekeeper. Assuming that the player in the center survives all 3 of those rounds, they would then get to win the game. But don't forget, at the beginning of every turn, you must roll for your trait. If you roll a 6, you would lose your turn. So be careful, because even when the game is over, it may not be over. When the center gate is destroyed, bringing the center to 0, the person in the center is down dead. So all the gates will then be reset, and rather than capturing the center gate myself, instead I only capture the gates that the opponent, who was just Gatekeeper, had. So in the scenario in which another person becomes Gatekeeper after there already was one, rather than having to survive 3 turns, I only have to survive 2. So little Jim Bob over here in the realm of Harkin has to defeat me in 2 turns instead of 3. In the event in which I am defeated in 2 turns, and I am now dead, and Jim Bob takes the center, well, then Jim Bob only has to survive 1 turn. Every player in which, after the second and first Gatekeeper that captures the center, will only have to survive 1 rotation to win the game. Remember, when you become Gatekeeper, instead of using a trait card, you will use the new Gatekeeper trait card. Immediately after your turn, the player to your right, so if Dynamo is Gatekeeper, the player to their right would immediately start their turn. That means you don't get to use any of the bonuses that you may have just received, and you don't get to gain health or do anything else on your turn that you might want to do. So now you know how to play Gatekeeper. The last thing we wanted to talk to you about is a couple special rules and pieces that might come up during the game. The first of which is the 8-sided dice. The 8-sided dice are used as bonuses for the black and red gate. You may use these accordingly to the bonus that is described on those gate bonus cards. Next is the Dink Die. The Dink Die is used as a gate attack die and will be used anytime you feel like doing less damage to the gates. Once you learn how to play, you will know and figure out better scenarios to use this, but just keep in mind that you always have the option to use a 4-sided die to attack gates. You may also use this die for battles. Next is Dragon's Curse. The Dragon Roll card in general is used when you turn in 3 dragons, but Dragon's Curse is a specific number on this card. Upon rolling Dragon's Curse, you will just lose 1 health. But unless it is the last rotation of the Keeper phase, rolling a 5 during the last rotation results in a 1v1 battle with the Gatekeeper. Whoever wins the battle wins the game. If anything other than a 5 is rolled during the last rotation, you lose 1 health. The next special piece is the freeze token. Upon capturing the blue gate, one of your bonuses is to freeze the board. So, what the freeze token does is I may turn the board and then freeze it so that the board must stay in this position until someone gets another turn board. When another player gets turn board, the token is removed, but the board is still in this position. The next piece is the poison die. The poison die, as the other pieces we mentioned, is a turn bonus or initial bonus for the black gate. So, to use a poison, the player that is poisoned, in this case the dynamo, rolls the poison die. Now, on every other player's turn, they will lose 1 health and then turn this dice down. Once the die hits 0, then the poison die is removed. In the event that another player is poisoned, this player is no longer poisoned and the die will go to a new player. That player will then have to re-roll the poison die. Next is the restoration die. The restoration die works exactly like the poison die, except that instead of losing 1 health, you gain 1 health. Next is Stockades. Stockades are one of the most important dice or pieces in this game. What the stockade does is you put it in front of your health. The next time that someone does damage to you, it blocks all damage, whether they do 100 damage in 1 blow or 1 damage in 1 blow. Then the stockade will be removed. Alright, that is all the special pieces in Gatekeeper, but there is one more special rule. That is the double zero. Ethan Miller, would you like to explain to us